Good morning, everybody. I'm Teresa Perrin, and this is my stock market watch list for Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. The futures are green this morning, guys, and everybody is patiently awaiting the CPI data that is coming out this morning at 8:30 a.m. Guys, be very cautious because I expect a lot of volatility. Based on those numbers, the stock market could either drop significantly or it could have a very, very nice green day. I do think that the hedge funds and market makers are probably going to try to err on the side of caution and not send things flying into the roof if it's too good, too fast, because you have to remember that tomorrow we have Powell and the interest rate hike. And the last thing that they want to tell him is that, the markets are ripping and make him want to change from that 50 basis point hike that we're all expecting to something higher because he thinks that things are still severely out of control. But again, if we get a good number, then it just further confirms that he needs to pull back that rate hike. But I think we're going to see the really big moves either following him giving a 50 basis point or surprising us with something even lower, which is less likely, but still possible. Or if we get a really hot number, and I mean hot isn't bad, then guys, maybe he has to do another 75 basis points. That's always a consideration. So please keep that in mind today when you're trading. Volatility could be off the charts. Again, that number comes out at 7:30 a.m. Let's get started. And just a reminder, guys, if a stock is up 100%, that's not the time to chase. You need to wait for a pullback. If you didn't already watch my video on HTGM, I suggest you watch it because I do discuss chasing stocks in there and how it can leave you as a bag holder. And whether you own that stock or not, I think you should check it out as an example, especially if you find yourself holding bags. All right, let's get started. Another reminder, just because I don't say a stock every day, like Helbiz, Mullen, COSM, Comms, stocks that I generally tend to play the runs in, or that I own in my portfolio. Like I do own Helbiz and the smaller COSM, I think it is, or COMS, whatever the 9-cent one is, and Mullen. I am building positions in those stocks because I think that, number one, I think Helbiz is just going to make me super wealthy someday. But number two, Mullen, I think, is going to have multiple runs. And potentially, if we can get things like going here and not keep having a dilution machine, I think Mullen could potentially make us all very wealthy someday. But I'm not 100% convinced on that because there's some things that I've seen lately that just drive me crazy, but I still think we can make money. And that COSM, the smaller one, I think is going to double at least again. And the larger one, I think, is going to have runs. So just because I don't talk about them every day, guys, AVCT, I have a significant position in my account as well. Just because I don't talk about it doesn't mean I'm not bullish on it. So please keep that in mind. I just don't want to repeat the same stocks day after day after day and bore you to death. SXTC is on my radar today. It is up 21.98% in pre-market. Guys, this is at the level it had reached previously. As you can see, the double top, it pulled back, and now we're moving up again and retesting that. I want to see a breakthrough here and us to make our next leg higher. ffie, and sorry, let me adjust this. I'm not sure why some of my pictures come out some ways and others different because I make them all the exact same way. But anyways, ffie, guys, is having an investors presentation, I believe, tomorrow, and they're going to announce the vehicle that they've been developing and delivery of that vehicle, a delivery plan for shareholders. And I believe that they got more funding, which has been a big problem with ffie, and I think why it is sold off as much as it has, because it's at very high risk of bankruptcy. So I think leading up to that presentation, and if we get news confirming that they are indeed securing funding enough to get this vehicle manufactured and delivered, then guys, this could go on an absolute rip. This has ran from these levels before up to $4 or $5, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again on bullish news leading up to that. And when we actually get there, it is very heavily shorted. NCPL, all right guys, this is ripping today, and I'll be honest with you, I have no clue why, but it's up over 50.90%. It is making a bull flag, and it looks like it wants to go higher. HTGM. Okay, guys, this is the video I was talking about that I did yesterday. This, I believe, last I checked, was up even further. I took this picture pre-7 a.m. It had pulled all the way back, and these were one of the levels that I discussed. At least I think I told you the levels, but this is definitely a level I looked at. 87, 97. I said if it gets below this 87, be prepared. It's going to go to 60. But nope, it seems like it's moving back up, and it was testing $1 last I looked at it. I sincerely expect a continuation. I believe that this is pure market manipulation. Guys, it traded 18 times its entire float. Seriously, check out that video for more information. This could really trap market makers if retail stays strong in this and pulls an AMC GME back in the early days where nobody would sell type thing. They will be so screwed in 30 days that you watch how this stock could rip. Again, you have to get retail to buy into that, and good luck, because nobody wants to hold things overnight, never mind for that long. But if they did, oh my God, that stock could destroy market makers. What they did yesterday was naked shorting to the nines. All right, rent. If you follow this channel at all, you know that on earnings, I called out rent, and it has been absolutely ripping to the upside. Every single day, it's been making higher highs, and the chart is so freaking juicy. I wanted to do a video on this, but guys, it's the weirdest thing. On Fintel, I can always see every stock. I cannot see information regarding this stock on Fintel. It is odd, to say the least. You know, there's some things I can see, but I can't see like the short interest or anything. Something tells me that this could be a really juicy play if it gets going, because why are they not displaying that public information? Ergo, this, guys, is a stock that has been up, down, and around and back. It is making a bull flag, as you can see in after hours, and I think that this could potentially rip to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets back to that $2 or higher range, guys. FIGS, FIGS. All right, I am expecting a technical breakout in FIGS potentially today, you know, maybe tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if this gets up to $10 by the end of the week. I'm being very real when I say that. Technically, if you look at the daily chart, it's ready to make that 1348 crossover. I believe it was the 1348. Sorry, I looked at so many charts, but it's ready to make a significant crossover. It's either that or cross above the 200. One of those two things, guys, and forgive me, but I looked at it last night and I just don't remember other than saying, holy crap, this chart is so juicy that either I expect today, but depending on CPI, maybe tomorrow, this is going to have a significant breakout. And guys, it is over 25 or 26% short interest, so expect FIGS to move. I did a video on FIGS previously. It's still very valid. Check it out. MMAT, Metamaterials. Guys, this was up to over $1.50 yesterday. This is another one technically that I think has a run coming in it. I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow, but by the end of the week, I would expect a significant move to the upside in MMAT. I wouldn't be surprised if it's back above $2. TME, 10 cent. All right, guys, I've been mentioning this quite a bit. Yesterday, it got a pullback that it much needed for that RSI to cool off. I expect this to run potentially to high 8s, even $9 by the end of the week. IQ. Very interesting, guys, because I like the chart set up in IQ, and I actually tried to buy, I have calls for this week, and I tried to buy more based on what I was seeing at market close. I was slapping that ask, and I still couldn't get filled. Well, after hours, I found out why. Because there was a huge dark pool print, which you don't normally see in these names that are trading at 350, like over $12 million or something like that, 12 million shares or $12 million, I forget off the top of my head, but it was huge. And I'm like, why? But the fact that that happened, I would keep a close eye on IQ this week. And guys, I do expect it to close above $4 and potentially even much higher. You see what they've been doing with these Chinese names. Just look at EH. I'm wondering if it's the next EH. All right, TAL, again, another Chinese name. Guys, Chinese stocks should be on everybody's radar right now because they have been beat down severely, just like the U.S. market. And the reopening in China, I think, is going to send a lot of these names. So TAL is high on my list because it tested the 52-week high at $7.02. I'd expect that to get back there either today or tomorrow. Again, this name needed to cool off. If it can get back and push above that, guys, I am not kidding. The next step, $9. After $9, I expect this to go to 19 or 20 very, very fast. If you look at the chart, you'll understand why. GoCo, guys, absolute banger. If you follow this channel, I don't need to say much more about this. If you don't, then you should keep this on your watch list. Do not be surprised if within the next year, this doubles, triples, even quadruples your money. It is on an absolute uptrend, rightfully so. It's been beat down bad, and I significantly expect a huge move to continue in this name. Kaba. All right, this is another one, guys. This is struggling to get to that $657 mark. Once it does, I am certain it is going to go and double the price that it's at right now. So keep it on your radar. It's known for having these pullbacks followed by big rips up. It's normal, guys. Stocks do not go straight up. This is another name that on this channel we have been covering since under $1. Off the top of my head, I think it was somewhere around 80 cents, 86 cents, somewhere in that range. 85.6 is coming to mind. But guys, it just keeps going. And this is something that I'm swinging in my personal account. And I do believe that I'm looking for double digits. I'm looking for somewhere around $12, $13. Carvana, CVNA. All right, Carvana, Upstart, I'll just show you UPST, and Affirm. All three of these stocks, guys, expect a move today. If CPI prints lower than expected or at expectations, I would expect to see some short coverings. Carvana, Upstart, Affirm, and also tomorrow, based on Powell, if he, starts making changes to lower that 50 to a 50 basis point hike or a 25, then these names are going to rip because obviously they're affected. And the higher the interest, the harder it is on these companies to make a profit. So keep that in mind and keep them on your radar. And also Carvana technically is ready to pop as well. If you look at, see how it's forming this wedge, this triangle, look for the breakout from there. This is after hours, so don't pay attention to the little tail at the end. But Upstart, similar thing, guys. Same with Affirm, AFRM. Coin, all right, COIN. I pulled this on my radar today because of Sam Bankman-Fried being arrested. I'm wondering how that's going to affect Coin. I'd expect it to make a move to the upside, and I would take a look at all crypto. They're on my radar today. Mara, Riot. There's so many, I can't even think off the top of my head. But Mara and Riot are the two biggest ones that I would keep, and I'm saying crypto mining companies. I'm curious to see how they do and how Bitcoin does, and if him being arrested causes them to go up or causes them to go down. I'm not sure, but my guess would be maybe to the upside. However, if things start coming out that something's not on the up and up with crypto, that start coming out of his mouth, who knows what's going to happen. But I find it interesting he got arrested the day before he was supposed to testify under Congress. What are they trying to hide? And guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you know my thoughts on it. You know I firmly believe that he's the middleman between the money that they've been sending to Ukraine and that Ukraine put back into FTX and all these political donations. What's the connection? Just saying. All right, Brush, BRSH. All right, so I thought that this had only a float of under 600,000 shares. Well, it turns out the reason it had fallen so much from where it was at was because they did an offering, which I'm sure, guys, that based on the tiny, tiny float that this has, that huge offering they did gives it about 10 million shares, I believe, including the warrants. So if they exercise those, because they were sold in units. So one stock and one warrant, I believe, for slightly under 5 million shares 5 million units, so that would double to 10, and it was like 4 point something, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So let's just say that the float now is only at 10 million, which is still very small, guys. Keep this on your radar because that deal should have closed. I'm not sure if they announced it, but I expect a return to the upside in this now that there's something to move the stock because there wasn't enough shares previously. And it's been making little strange movements, as you can see, trying to break out. So look for that to push. I wouldn't be surprised if it doubles. HTGM. Oh, sorry, I already talked about that. But clearly, I wanted to show you that. See, it's back testing that $1 range. So keep it on your radar. And then NCPL, I think we already discussed NCPL. We did. All right, my apologies. But it did break out of that bull flag. And as you can see, it's continuing higher. Please do not chase stocks. When they move like this, guys, wait for the pullback. All right, real quick, let's give you the top gainers today. Look at these Chinese names are hot. JZXN, MGTA, NCPL, ZVSA, and SXTC. All right, guys, SXTC was heavy on my radar too. Top losers, QTNT, AMPE, ARBK, BBLG, and HARP. And HARP was a big runner yesterday. Now, guys, just because these are in the top losers in pre-market, sometimes it's good to keep some of these names on your radar for that bounce to the upside because it's like an elastic band. Look at why they fell down, and if you think they could potentially go back and to the upside, and even if it's not today, you may find that these top losers suddenly in a day or two are one of your top gainers. And I'm not saying that buy them there. I'm saying they could create good opportunities to watch. They can also create good opportunities for shorting if they continue that fall. Most active, HZNP, Horizon Therapeutics. But guys, I think that this reached, if I'm not mistaken, this may be a buyout play. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that name's coming to mind as a buyout. And it may have reached because it's just settling around this area. So I'm not sure I would touch that right now. SU, Suncor, ABEV. ABEV is back there, guys. ABEV and SBEV have been on these lists for a while. LUMN, this has also been on here many days, and DNA. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Be cautious out there because remember, we have CPI at 8:30. Take care now.